Alright, so yesterday we did a bunch of caving while I talked about some stuff going on in my life. Just to make the gameplay a little less of the focus, because there wasn't really much going on there. But we got enough to make a bed, so we're gonna go and do that. We need 5 silk if I remember correctly. And we take that silk, combine it with some wood, a sawmill, I believe. We can make a bed, so we can set our spawn point and also fast forward through the night if we need to. Still takes a few minutes to get through the night, but you know, it's better than just waiting like 20 minutes or whatever it is. Yep, there it is. We've got that. We've got an energy core. We can summon some robots and get some more ammo for our gun. We still haven't gotten an arms dealer spawned in for some reason. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, that worked pretty well. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen, but I think that worked pretty well. You can go ahead and sell this battery. I don't really need it. I'll just go ahead and put this bed right here. Doesn't really matter where I put it. So now every time I die, or every time I use my magic mirror, I'll just spawn in this room right here. And I don't think we can fast forward the day. I can't remember if we can or not. But we can definitely fast forward the night. So we'll do that if we have to. So let's go ahead and craft this slime crown. Or, you know, just die immediately. We were told that we need to go to the corruption to do this, because we need a demon altar. The demon altars can only be found in the underground corruption. Of course, you know, like anything else in this game, they make it a hassle to really get down here in the early game, because, you know, there's important progression stuff down here. So if you're not careful, you just die. Which is pretty funny. But now we're down here, and the unique thing about the corruption is that it's the only, I think it's the only underground biome that has its own unique structure. Everything's in this like single row of open space, and there's these you can see these little like purple floating orbs down there. Those are important for certain things, and you can see these little like spiked thingies, like I don't know what you would call it, but in the game they call it a demon altar, and that's what we need. So we can go ahead and head back down there pretty easily. Everything's dark, everything's purple. There's not a lot of treasure down there. No chests to be open. So it's, you know, it's kind of hard to be down there for any length of time. Of course, we see there's a kind of new glowing ore here. This, like, violet ore. And we can actually mine that with our pickaxe now. Now that we have gold, we can go ahead and mine this. It's going to be demonite, which is going to be a lot better than anything we've seen so far. But it's not going to be very common, because there are different ways to obtain this ore that we can't get to yet. So, if we can get it as early as we are right now, it's awesome, and, you know, a good thing. But usually it's not till later that we can actually use this stuff. Oh. Did I make the crown? Oh, I did. Okay. So, we don't really need to go back anymore. But we can go ahead and smelt this into demonite bars. And, figure out what those can make. So you can see there's a bunch of new unique stuff. We've got like a fishing rod, new kind of bow called a demon bow, different kinds of tools and weapons and armor, a yo-yo, and a new accessory, well, multiple accessories actually, new unique weapons that are different than like just a gold sword. Like this is called the Perfect Dark, shade thrower, rot ball, caustic staff, dank staff, vile feeder. So, I would say this is about the point in the game where stuff starts to get a bit more silly, I guess. Because up until now, we've only seen like lead armor and gold armor, or gold pickaxe and gold, you know, whatever, so on and so forth. But now that we're getting into these new unique ores and materials and all that stuff, we're going to start seeing weapons that have their own names, and they do certain things that other weapons can't do, and they look cool and all that stuff. So I would say this is about where we're going to start seeing more of that stuff. And spoiler alert, they only get cooler and cooler as we go on here, so I'm pretty excited for that. Now we have our boss summon here, so we've got our first opportunity to kill the boss. And usually in vanilla Terraria, if you have one of these summons and you use it, it's gone, it's consumable, and it's just used up, and you have to make a new one every time you try to fight a boss. But in Calamity mod, the devs know that the bosses are the hardest part of the mod, so you gotta die a lot. So they said we're just gonna make it non-consumable. So we'll have this summon forever. We won't have to make it again, and we can use it as many times as we want, whether or not we've killed the boss or not. So we can go ahead and try to kill King Slime right now. I'm almost certainly gonna die instantly, but I'll show you what he looks like. So let's go ahead and move to this open area here, and we'll just summon him and see what's up. The summon itself will tell you stuff about how to fight it, slightly, like very little about how to fight it. So this one says summons King Slime, not consumable, and some of the other summons. Sorry, I just kind of spoiled the later part of the game. We'll get to that later. Anyways, other summons will say like only usable at night, or like only usable in the jungle or something. But of course, since it doesn't say that for King Slime, we could assume that he can be fought anywhere at any time. So let's go ahead and do it. You can see we've got the biggest slime you've ever seen. He's huge. He's got over 5,000 health. My attacks are doing basically nothing to him, and he keeps teleporting back and forth to try to catch me. So this is the boss. This is it right here. And as we continue fighting him, he's going to get stronger and stronger, and he's going to get faster and faster, and he's going to drop these little slimes on the ground that we have to deal with in the meantime. So it's pretty serious compared to the rest of the game. It's kind of a marathon type thing where you have to put out a lot of effort and focus for like 10 minutes at a time, and then you unlock new progression to do. I guess you can kind of compare it to Dark Souls, because I know Dark Souls bosses are kind of like that, where you spend like 10 minutes on one phase for hours, and then you get like another new phase, and then you get, I don't know, cool stuff after you defeat the bosses. So it's kind of like that. And like I said, the devs expect you to die over and over again to learn about each boss. Of course, I already know about most of the bosses in Calamity mod, because I've kind of spoiled myself in Revengeance mode. But I will say, this is already different than it was in Revengeance mode. He was not this big in Revengeance mode. And he had different mechanics. I don't know if we'll see that soon, like as I deplete his health. But in Revengeance mode, I think he was a little bit smaller, a little bit quicker, and he spawned more slimes. I'm not sure if he'll change his mechanics as we, get further into the fight. If I had to guess, he probably would. But that was a decent first attempt. It's pretty obvious we can't really deal with these slimes yet. We need more armor, some more health before we do that. We only found a handful of life crystals down there in the jungle. Not the jungle, the ice biome. So, I would say we should get some more armor. And, maybe some better weapons if we can find them before we try to kill King Slime. We can always retry anytime. And the actual nice thing that about him, King Slime, I mean, is that the green slimes that he spawns that shoot out those spikes everywhere will actually drop new materials that we can use for new stuff. So if we take this stuff to the guide, the murky paste and the stingers, we can see a whole bunch of new stuff that we can make at some point in the game with these materials. So, we can keep an eye out on that. And another, maybe not nice thing, but another thing to note about boss fights is that obviously they are, compared to the rest of the game, they're intense and they're long. So it's pretty likely that your NPCs are going to be caught in the middle of all that. And more often than not, they're just going to die and respawn the next day. And a lot of NPCs, when they die, will drop weapons like this. It's about the best weapon we've seen so far. 26 damage. It doesn't really do anything special, but it's just a good sword for a melee weapon, or a melee user. We can't use it because we're not a melee character. So we'll go ahead and sell it. But if I was, I'd probably keep it. Different NPCs will drop different weapons, so we might see some weapons that we can use later on. But yeah, that's King Slime. We definitely do need to do some preparations before we expect to kill him. But now we've got the summon, and I don't know, feeling pretty good about it. We'll go ahead and put that away for now. And let's see, we've got about 10 minutes left. What can we do? We went to the ice biome. We got some cool stuff there. Got our gold pickaxe. We've got our King Slime summon. What can I do? What can I do? Oh, I didn't talk to the dye trader yet. So the dye trader is this cool looking dude. He's got a whole fit on, colorful fit. And he sells a dye vat, which you can use to make different dyes for clothes and all that stuff. And he sells different kinds of dyes. So he sells silver, brown, shadow, and negative dye, which are all only sold by him, I believe. You can't make any of these naturally. But there are other dyes which you can make naturally, which he does not sell. So if I find like a yellow plant, yellow flower, I can take it to the dye vat and it'll make yellow dye. Oh, here's one right here. Perfect. So if I see any of these guys, yellow marigold out in the wild, I take it to the dye vat and go ahead and craft yellow dye. If I want to, I can put that on my character, and it'll make the stuff yellow. It's kind of subtle right now. It's not like the most vibrant thing ever in the world, but you can make different kinds of unique dyes, and you can earn other unique dyes from different boss fights and areas in the game and all that. So it's like a whole thing. I probably won't be using any right now, but you know, it's good to have. And these strange plants that I have, where'd they go? These strange plants that I have can be traded for rare dyes, but not till later. Usually the dye trader will have a little button here that says strange plants, but he does not have it yet. I think I know when he unlocks that button, but it's not going to be for a while. So we just got to hold on to those until then. Alright. So, got some good progress. We're definitely moving along nicely here. I think it might be good for me to make some more arrows. So if I combine some arrows with some fallen stars, I can make better arrows. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So now I've got a bunch of these, a bunch of these jester arrows, as they call them. They do more damage than a normal arrow, twice as much as a normal arrow, actually. And what they do is that they fly faster than a normal arrow. They make light, so you can see what you're shooting, and they actually pierce. So if there's like a crowd of enemies, I can use this, and it'll it'll get through them pretty easily. So yeah, that's all great. Alright. I think what I might want to do is find out what I can make with these Crimtane bars. Not Crimtane. That's another thing in the Crimson, which I don't have in this world. I mean, Demonite. I can make a bunch of stuff with this. Let's see. I can make shadow candles. Nullifies the peaceful benefits of towns. That doesn't seem helpful. Could build a fishing pole, which I might want to do. A new bow, which I also might want to do. New axe, new sword, new armor, new pickaxe, a new hammer, a yo-yo, Some accessories. A new boss summon. Summons a hive mind when using the corruption. Magic weapon. Another sword. Ranged weapon. Rogue weapon. Summon weapon. 2 summon weapons. 3 summon weapons. Wow. I'm kind of jealous. I want that many. Demon altar skin. Stuff for magic storage. A demon altar, which we can just place down wherever we want. Crimtane bar, which is what I was talking about. That's just going to be an alternate to Demonite that is exclusive to Crimson worlds. So if I started this world and chose Crimson instead of Corruption, then I would have gotten Crimtane. I think this is the same as this. I don't know. I don't really know why they're different. Or I can make a Crimson altar, which is the same thing but for Crimson worlds. The whole thing about Crimson worlds is that it's, instead of it being corruption and like dirty and like rotting stuff, it's all like gory. Like everything's red. It's got like meat textures and like eyeballs everywhere. Everything's like screaming and dying. But here everything's already kind of dead and like rotting. So it's just a different kind of vibe for the evil biome. I can't really do anything yet with 7 bars. And I can't really do anything with these with most of these recipes because I don't have the materials. I can make a fishing pole, a bow, and an axe. I don't want to make a yo-yo. I could make this if I have enough topaz. Which I do not, of course. Yeah, I just don't have the materials to make most of this stuff. So I think I'm just gonna try to get some more ore and make this stuff that I can. I know this bow is better than the one I have, so I'll go ahead and make that, and I'll make a new axe. I need 8 for each, I believe. So maybe by the end of this episode, I can do that, but maybe not. Like I was saying, they make it kind of hard to use Demonite early in the game because it shows up so rarely in caves. This is the first time we're really seeing it in a cave. And if you do see it in a cave, like down here, it's usually going to be surrounded by this purple stone, which I can't even get through yet. So the only way to get to most of the Demonite down here is going to be with bombs and dynamite, which I could do. I could totally buy a bunch of dynamite and a bunch of bombs from the demolitionist, but of course that costs money. So if you don't have any money, you can't really get to the resources. So yeah, there's a lot of kind of nothing down here. There's a lot of demon altars for a reason that we'll talk about. later. You're gonna notice that's a kind of a theme in this game. A lot of stuff is kind of innocuous at first, but it comes in later. So a lot of stuff that seems just kind of out of place and random most likely has some kind of use later in the game. You might be like, oh, why would you need more than like 2 demon altars if you're just going to use them for special crafting recipes and stuff? And like I said, we'll talk about it later. But there is a reason why there's so many. You can't break them. If you try to break them, it'll just hurt you. You can't do it with a pickaxe. You can't do it with an axe. If you try to do it with a hammer, it'll just hurt you. So you can't even break them. You can't get through the stone without bombs. And those orbs down there actually will give you stuff. So I guess you could say those are like the chests, or like the loot of this biome. But again, you need bombs to get down there. You need a hammer to break those. And they don't even really give you that much stuff. They give you like 1 item and some torches and like maybe a few more bombs. But like, that's about it. Alright, well, just kind of wanted to kill some time there. We didn't really get that much ore. But we got enough to make, I think, 1 thing. Oh no, we could make a couple things. So we could make a bow. And I would make a sword, but again, we're not a melee build. So let's go ahead and make the Fisher of Souls. And most likely next time I'll start talking about some fishing stuff. That's pretty fun. Yeah, that's about it, I think. Yeah, I'll go ahead and leave this here. I'll pick up here next week. But we did get some pretty good progress, at least towards the end. We've got some new houses, we've got some new neighbors. We've got a new bow, a new paintball gun, new tools, some new crafting stations. We were able to block off the corruption with these sunflowers. We got a fishing pole. Got some accessories. We got a lot of accessories actually. Got some new furniture. My house looks a mess right now. That is alright. And we got our first boss summon. But yeah, of course we'll be working towards defeating that boss probably more than anything next week. But we do have some new stuff to talk about, I guess. So yeah, thanks for watching if you watched any of this. If you watched the whole week worth of episodes, very much appreciated. I'll be back next week, like usual. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be back.